This was supposed to be the summer that I never forgot. I had worked all year to get up the money to come and spend 3 solid weeks on a Greek island. It had lived up to expectations so far. The food was amazing, the music grand, and the parties lively. And then everything fell apart when I woke up to the sound of someone screaming. I lurched out of bed, slamming both of my feet onto the floor. What's going on? There was no one in the room with me. I ran to the door to my hotel room and looked through the peephole, only to be met with a bloodbath. The woman from the room across the hall had been pinned to the wall. Someone was biting her, ripping her throat out with their teeth. Terrified, I ran to the phone. I grabbed it from the receiver and slammed it to my ear, ready to call for help. Beep. The dial tone rang out loud in my ear. I swore and slammed the receiver back down, heading for the sliding glass doors at the balcony. I threw them open, planning on shouting for help instead. But the sight that I was met with chilled the very blood in my veins. Outside, the once peaceful Greek island had been transformed into a madhouse. Cars had crashed, people were running, only to be tackled to the ground and attacked by other vacationers. They were screaming. Everyone was screaming. Glass windows had been shattered. The violent attackers were snarling, sinking their teeth into their victims. It was a slaughterhouse. "Hey, up here!" called someone from above me. I looked up and saw a young woman on the balcony above me. She said, "We're going to the roof," gestured over her shoulder at someone that I couldn't see. "You should come with us." "There's one of these freaks right outside my door," I said. "I can't get out." She told me, "Climb onto the balcony next door. Maybe you can come out through their room. Just be careful. We don't know if anyone's inside." "Right." I carefully climbed up onto the banister of the balcony and took a jump. It was only a few feet apart, but I still almost missed it. I had to grab onto the bars of the railing and physically pull myself up. Pump! My feet hit the ground on the other side. I carefully made my way over to the sliding glass door, placing both hands on the glass. I peered inside. Nothing. It was dark and still. The door to the hallway was open. They must have already run out of the room. Taking a deep breath, I pushed open the sliding glass door and made my way across the room, towards the door leading out of the hallway. The carpet dipped under my bare toe. "It's wet." I froze. What was that sound? My gaze shifted to the side. A young girl, no older than 10, crouched over her father's body, feasting on his neck. The skin and muscle tore beneath her teeth, wet and sloppy as she devoured him. His blood stained the cream carpet. It felt like my heart had just been forcibly removed from my body. There's no way around it. These are zombies that have taken over the little Greek island. Zombies, and I stared one down. Swallowing my tongue, I tried to step backwards, away from the girl. I bumped into the table containing the coffee pot. Her head snapped up. Her eyes were milk white. Blood ran down her chin, staining the front of her yellow sundress. She opened her mouth and screamed at me, the sound coming out, a sharp hiss. "Don't!" I started, but it was too late. The child lunged at me. I moved on instinct and pure fear. I ducked out of the way, grabbed the edge of the table, and dumped it backwards onto her. She was trapped under the wood. My feet slammed onto the underside of the table as I flung myself out into the hallway. There was one problem. The sound had attracted the attention of all the other zombies in the nearby area. They moved towards me, slowly lurching forward. It didn't seem as though they were runners, which I guessed was going to be my only saving grace. The loose-fitting pajama pants that I was wearing slid down my hips. I grabbed them with one hand and hiked them back up. At the end of the hallway, the elevator dinged and the door slid open. A mass of the undead had curled upon their victim, devouring them. The moment they saw me, they abandoned their prey and started lumbering my way. spitting out every swear word that I had ever learned and a few that I made up right there on the spot. I threw myself even faster towards the stairwell. Sweat-soaked palms slid over the metal handle of the door. I pulled it open and tripped inside, barely getting the door slammed shut behind me. Several of the zombies slammed into the heavy white painted wood, but they didn't seem to be capable of figuring out how to open it. I let out a breath of relief, sliding backwards and taking a moment to just breathe, and tried to still my racing heart. The sounds that the undead made were awful, like they were nothing more than animals. I had to force myself back up onto my feet, letting out a trembling breath. The roof. Would it even be safe up there? I doubted that the girl was the only one who had that idea. It was just my only option. I started up the stairs. My steps seemed to echo like thunder in the stairwell. All I could do was hope that safety really could be found on the roof, and that no one who had been bitten would be joining us.